Greetings, Facebook, YouTube, halfmeasuresroom.com, Twitter, and LinkedIn. People that are watching this video. This is Oliver, creator of the halfmeasuresroom.com blog. Here to do another video portion. Something I don't do very often. I was looking forward to doing this today. Like I've mentioned before, I like to be outside and do these videos different places, so it's not the same picture every time. As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful day. It's been raining the past few days. I wasn't sure how I was gonna get this done. I was afraid I was gonna have to do it inside the house. Not really sure how well this is coming in. First I put myself in the shade to be out of the heat. It's like I mentioned in the last vlog, it's very hot in Central Texas this time of year, but it's around lunchtime right now, so it's not too bad, and just didn't look so good in the shade, so I thought I'd come out here in the sunlight. But this is a little park with a lake. If y'all can see behind me, I picked this place in particular. I have some memories here. This used to just be a part of the land that the city owned. About 20 years ago, I was on probation, and when I did community service, this is where the city would take us to drop off stuff like rocks. We did a lot of landscaping stuff, and I remember coming out here with a trailer load of rocks, and we threw these rocks out in the lake. And I remember hurting my back and not coming back for a little while because of twisting with the rock in my arm. If you haven't noticed, I've went to the doctor today. I have, as well as being an addict and an alcoholic, I also have another chronic illness called Crohn's disease, and it's been affecting the joints in my arms, ankles, shoulder, elbow, knees, and my GI has put me on prednisone to treat that, but it's something that you can't take for very long, and they taper it off, and it seemed to help, but after a few weeks after being off the prednisone, the aches would come back. So I've gone to, he says it's a Crohn's flare-up because I've been treated with this aggressive medicine called Remicade, and he says that when your illness is being treated aggressively, it'll move to other places. It's real similar to alcoholism, drug addiction in that sense. When I get treated in one aspect, other issues will arise, with those character defects, with the trash cans. I think I mentioned this in another blog. You cover up so many with a trash lid, but there's always one trash can that doesn't have a lid. You only have so many lids for these trash cans, so once you treat some, another defect will glare up, and it's always good to be paying attention and looking for these issues and treating them as they come. But I went and saw this not an orthopedic, but a rheumatoid arthritic doctor, and he wanted to take some blood samples and an x-ray, and he wants to get a bone density scan or something like that that's being set up for next week. But I had to go get blood taken, have a number of different tests. I'm not an easy person to get stuck. It's really hard to find a vein, which is probably why I didn't become an IV user. One of the drugs that I never really got into was sticking a needle in my arm and doing that, intravenous injections. So after I got done with that, I decided to come out here to the park. It's really hard for me to see. It's been about 5 minutes now. I took these blogs. I think I've mentioned this before. If you haven't watched the previous video, I took these blogs from the MySpace profile. That was where I first came up with Half Measures Room. I had a friend of mine in the program that had a sober profile for discussion, and another one, Punk Friends in Recovery, was one that I really enjoyed reading from, which got me into doing Half Measures Room. I wanted something that was more involved in the actual literature. So I would take these portions of the books I was reading, paragraphs or sentences, and begin with that, and then just start discussing that stuff, taking my own personal experience with drug addiction and alcoholism, and my experience with recovery, and how the 12 steps have helped me treat my disease. But MySpace started dying off. Everybody was moving to Facebook. I really missed the MySpace. They had this I don't know if you remember, they had a column with just people that were discussing things. I can't remember if it was a calendar or it was like a daily kind of thing. It was like a little board that would show up, and you would see what people were discussing. And so notes were real popular for people to read notes and blogs. And Facebook really wasn't like that. I could write notes and post them up on my news feed for everyone to see. It just wasn't as easily accessible, and it wasn't in your face like it was at MySpace. That's one of the things I really miss about MySpace. That and the music, that was real big. Finding bands that were unsigned, that were local, or that were looking for the come up. And that's just not really a Facebook thing. Facebook is more about posting stuff from YouTube and posting up memes and stuff like that, and politics. It's just not as exciting to me as MySpace was. So I'm trying to be a little more active with the social media and Half Measures Room. I haven't been as active, haven't written as many blogs as I used to. I used to write like a blog a week, and it's been more down to a blog a month. I've had a lot of stuff come up past 3 years, issues and stuff in my personal life that I've been paying more attention to. But I want to get back into writing. That's a hobby of mine that I've had for a long time, and something I really like to do, something I want to continue doing. And blogging seems to be more natural to me, to write about stuff that I've actually gone through, stuff that I'm going through currently. I want to kind of be a little more open to my blogging, and we'll just see how that changes. I know I've been more spiritual related, talking about my higher power a lot more. That's been more meaningful to me past few years. Really looking for help through that other power, that's not human, because my fellow humans can only help me so much. Some of these things are just above human power. I have to look for something greater for help in some of my issues and my problems. And I try to think more of other people is another big thing of mine. Is focusing more on what I can do to help other people and what other people might need from a higher power, rather than thinking about myself so much. It seems to be where a lot of my problems come from, is this selfishness and thinking of myself. But if you haven't already found out by now, but I've also started a new profile on LinkedIn to focus more on the blogs, and to kind of put my the Half Measures Room out there. This new book that I've collected, it's just an archive of the blog material from the MySpace, because that profile pretty much, I don't even know if it's even there anymore. I haven't even looked at it. I just didn't want those blogs to disappear. That's why I kind of put them in a Word document, and now I've put them into a book. I have enough for 2 other books in the works, but I'm gonna just focus on this one right now. And the print had gotten a little small on the blogs themselves. So my wife's the one that pointed that out. She's like, it might be easier to read if the type's a little bigger. So I did go back and edit that at bookemon.com. And so underneath this video, I want to put a link to where you can look at that book. The ebook is free. You can just open it up and look at it. And since the type had to go a little bigger, I think I added more pages to the book, which increased the price. So I made the price a little less than the one previous. I think it's like $18 now for a soft cover, and I think $23 for the hardcover edition. But the hardcover edition is the one that I got in the mail recently, and I'm really impressed with the quality of it. So the only thing I am disappointed with is I couldn't figure out a way to get the title on the binder, the spine part. I want to try to figure that out someday, how to get the type on the side. But the cover is real nice, and it's really good hardcover edition. really happy about it. See, I got about 10 minutes into this. I want to read a blog out of here since I have it, just to kind of give you all an idea of what's in here. The stuff that I have been doing lately is a little more in depth about the stuff that's keeping me sober today. The 12 steps is what I continue to use being sober. But things always kind of change and evolve as you grow in sobriety and recovery. So this is on page 186. It's called A Picture of Normalcy. The first promise ever given to me in the program was from my first sponsor. He told me, "Oliver, you never have to drink again if you don't want to, but there are certain things you must do." That is a promise I will never forget. And early on, I had this illusion that if I could only stop the drinking and the drugging, that everything else would be okay. Unfortunately, elimination of the drinking and drugging was just the beginning, and that was a hard reality for me to face, especially seeing as how my life had gotten progressively worse after quitting. I had worked through the first 7 steps, and at 2 months sobriety, I was ready to cash it all in and give up. What I realized today is the program is not some magic wand that is waved over me once I'm able to stop using. It is not a guarantee that everything will be restored to normal simply because I've been able to stop getting loaded for a period of time. In fact, the problems in my life I was experiencing in early sobriety are a long time coming. Once I saw that, I myself had set the ball rolling months, maybe even years before the onset of my current sobriety. I became willing to take responsibility for them. For me, this process of recovery is more about addressing the causes and conditions under which I find it necessary to get high. The only thing I see separating myself from a normal, average, everyday person is the effect drugs and alcohol have upon me. Point blank, that's it. I don't hold very well with those that cop out and use the disease as an excuse. It doesn't separate us from anyone else in the world. We all have the same types of feelings. We all have the same desires, wants, and needs. It drives me crazy when someone in the room starts personifying their illness by making statements such as, "My disease wants me dead," or "My disease was talking to me," or even "I was feeling this way because of my alcoholism and addiction." I think that is a lot of BS. We are not special people. We're not different than anyone else in the world. In my eyes, the only thing that separates us from other people is in the way that we've chosen to cope with life's problems. Normal people may drink too much from time to time and find that experience unpleasant. I actually enjoy those feelings, for it is escaping reality and avoiding the pain of life experience. That is how my habit was formed. I continually sought the same feelings of euphoria. When the drink or drug took a hold of me, I actually craved that powerless feeling, and walking through life in that manner made living absolutely unmanageable. Once I have been able to stop using, I find that I have much more the same reaction as normal people. What the program has taught me is a way to overcome difficulty and bad feelings without picking up. True recovery with me began when picking up a drink or a drug was no longer an option, when the desire to stay sober far outweighed the desire to get wasted. Sure, there are a lot of people out there that don't, won't, or will never be able to understand or comprehend alcoholism and addiction as a disease. It doesn't make sense to them. They can't see how someone can't fully assert their power of will and make the decision to put the substance down and face dire consequences. They may look at a person such as that as weak, uncaring, and extremely selfish, and to some extent that is very true. But I believe that anyone can become addicted if they work hard enough at it. Some just don't stick around as long and as hard as I did. At some point in my drinking and drugging career, I lost all power of consumption, and by the time I discovered I wanted to stop, I found I could not. The physical allergy had a real hold on me, and I was a baffled lot. So don't let anyone in the room say that you are any different. As long as we continue to stay away from booze and dope, we have a chance to enjoy and experience life much like normal people do. We are not special, we are not different or set apart from anyone else in this world. We have found our solution to life's problems and can go about our merry way. It's not a handicap, it is not a doomed condition. We are not hopeless, tortured, or cursed people, we simply have a disease. And through the process of the 12 steps and help from a higher power, we have found a way to arrest it. And as long as we maintain our treatment, we remain restored to normalcy, acting much like everyone else. It is only when we allow the anarchy of extreme selfishness to satisfy our instinctual desires that we set ourselves apart from the pack. And that is when someone can truly say that person is crazy, out of control, and unless they are locked up, they will die or become permanently insane, which is a quote from the big book. Yeah, this is kind of a long line with kind of where I was going, you know. I got about 4 minutes left. I try to keep these video logs about 20 minutes long. It's getting really hot out here. I don't know if you watched me. I was kind of playing with my my ear and my head. Starting to sweat a little bit, but I think the sun's behind a cloud. You know, I was talking about this place out here, this lake, you know, where I did my community service. And community service was something that I really did enjoy, depending on where I went and how I was treated. I didn't want to be treated like I was in jail again, because I was out here, I was free, I was just serving the community under you know, the guise of my probation conditions. I remember also when I would walk to a meeting. I didn't have a car at the time, and I was walking to meetings, and I would pick up trash on my way. It's like, you know, a couple miles from the house, and I would take a bag with me and I would pick up trash. And the reason I would do that was it was something that I did when I was using and drinking, was I would throw stuff on the ground. I would never use a trash can. I would just litter. And so it was important for me to kind of take back, not just as a condition of my probation doing community service, but on my own, you know, personally, you know, giving back to the world, as I was, you know, had been destroying it and contributing to the destruction in the past. You know, it's just something that I'm having problems with lately, is my schedule, and trying to work things back into my schedule. You know, I have certain things that are top of my list, you know, going to work, being home with my family. But I also try to set aside a little bit of personal time, you know, to watch TV or read books, or something that I'm trying to pick back up again. You know, not just the literature about sobriety, but you know, just fictional books. That's something I stopped doing. You know, and the writing, the blogging, which isn't as frequent as it used to be. But I want to always write about something that's, you know, got purpose, and it's important and has substance to it. You know, that may change over time. I might involve, you know, a little more of what's going on in my personal life, rather than just stuff that you know, that's come to mind, or something that's you know, occurred to me with that I'm going through. Just be a little more personal about it. And so I had a Twitter account created for Half Measures Room, and so I'm trying to pick that back up again. I put that app on my phone, and I'm trying to be a little more active in there. I don't know much about Twitter, so if any of you have any suggestions on how to, you know, maintain and manage my Twitter account, please hit me up. I've got two emails account for Half Measures Room. One is Oliver@halfmeasuresroom.com, and the other one is halfmeasuresroom@yahoo.com. With the LinkedIn account, that's another thing that's new to me. I'm going to try and build on that. So if you have a LinkedIn account, please look me up there and friend me. I'd like to have some connections there. Really looking more into the literature realm, and you know, society and recovery and spirituality, things of that nature. I still want to stay focused on sobriety and what it's like, you know, treating a disease. There's no cure for alcoholism addiction in my eyes, but there is a treatment for it. You know, similar to Crohn's, it's chronic. It's something that I'll have till the day I die, but it can be treated and arrested, and I can recover from it as long as I continue to do certain things and work certain steps, you know, on the daily. You know, it's not something that I work all 12, you know, and then a few months later I work them again. It's something it's becomes a daily way of life. You know, I really don't like calling it a program so much. It's really more of a daily way of life. About that 20-minute mark, I want to thank everybody for watching, and you know, I'll put a link up for the book on the webpage for halfmeasuresroom.com, and I'll put one up on this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll try to put a link in the description of the video itself. But thank you all for joining in and watching and reading up on the blogs. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. I don't know if I'll do another video log. I may just write a blog. It's been about a month since I've done one, so whoa, what is happening here? I'm about to log in. My screen just went blank. Hold on a second. There we go. Thanks again, and I'll talk to y'all soon.